and welcome to AICTE Insights, a diverse show on innovation, education, entrepreneurship, startups, and much more. I'm your host, and in today's episode, we are diving into two visionary initiatives of AICTE, the AICTE Productization Fellowship and the Yukti Innovation Challenge 2025. These initiatives are game changers for students, faculty, and institutions with innovative ideas waiting to be transformed into impactful products and scalable startups. To unpack these schemes in depth, we are joined by Dr. N.H. Siddalinga Swamy, advisor to AICTE, and Dr. Yogesh Brahmankar, Innovation Director at the Ministry of Education's Innovation Cell. A warm welcome to both of you, sir.
Namaste.
To set the stage, let me begin with these questions for both of you, sir. What was the motivation behind launching the Productization Fellowship and Yukti Innovation Challenge? To you, sir.
Yeah, actually AICTE Productization Fellowship main motto or the purpose of bringing this particular fellowship is with the intention of transferring that ideas from lab to the market. So many of our students who are doing exceptionally well projects when they are doing their studies as a partial fulfillment of their degrees, either at bachelor's or master's or even the doctoral also. But unfortunately, many of these ideas are not finally getting converted into the product. Now here, for the first time, AICTE is planning to help the students in order to take these ideas to the next level, so that some of the good ideas can be converted or seen as a products in the market.
Okay. So what was the motivation behind having the Yukti Innovation Challenge 2025?
So this is the fourth edition of Yukti National Innovation Challenge, and it actually started with that Innovation Cell earlier used to have and today also we have like Smart India Hackathon and other competitions. But what after the competitions and hackathons, how students can take their ideas ahead, because they require mentoring support, handholding, they require a space where they can incubate their ideas, and they require funding support for prototyping and testing their prototypes. So that was the basic idea behind Yukti. Yukti, actually we have Yukti portal, which is Yukti Innovation Repository. Throughout year, it's open, and we take student innovation at 3 levels. One is idea stage, second is prototype, and third is startup stage. The Yukti Innovation Challenge, when we say yearly once we open the innovation challenge, the startup stage submissions now can be recommended by the respective IICs, Institutions Innovation Councils, for the innovation challenge. So the main motive is to help enable the students or even faculty members, because we fund faculty members also, the faculty startups also, to actually implement their ideas, come up with a product and establish a startup.
So more or less both these schemes have the same vision of turning innovative ideas into a product. So what is the main difference you can identify, sir?
Ultimately, the focus of both the schemes, AICTE Productization Fellowship or Yukti challenges are finally leading to the same end result.
Yes.
But here the one important crux which we can see in that AICTE Productization Fellowship is here we are going to support the student, an individual student or a group of student. In case the students are coming as a team to work on a product development, we are going to support them for a period which is start with minimum 1 year to a maximum of 2 years. And every month they are getting an assured fellowship of 37,000 rupees.
Okay.
So whereas in that other one, so this kind of a provision, that monthly provision was not there. Now in order to encourage the students, finally what will going to happen, especially in their final year, they will come up with a very good project, they will find a solution. Sometimes they will also compete in some of the national and international competitions like Smart India Hackathon, Yukti Innovation Challenge, etc., etc. But most of the students will leave those ideas, the solutions which they have got for these problems at that stage only, because immediately after their graduation or post graduation they look for a job. But here we are trying to what is that, I mean, attract the students instead of looking for a job immediately after their studies. We are planning them to move in the same direction or in the same motto where they started their solution for a problem as a project work to take it forward so that they can reach to a usable product, and also the targeting them to become an entrepreneur rather than looking for a job elsewhere. So this is where the importance of this AICTE Productization Fellowship with an assured period of financial support to a maximum period of 2 years will help the students to focus really on their this development of the product from the solution which they have arrived or derived in any of the challenges which they have participated, or the project work which they have taken up as a partial fulfillment of their academic degrees.
Yogesh sir, as sir said, this is a scheme which will connect students and they will continue to work on their product despite being having completed their education also. So what Yukti challenge is different from this? What is the difference?
So Yukti is basically the funding is given actually to utilize that funding in a project for buying the raw material, for testing, maybe for trials, for attending different exhibitions where they can get very good feedback, they can travel. So these are the elements where our Yukti beneficiaries have been using the funding. And what Dr. Swamy rightly mentioned, now it's putting more fuel and actually it's a booster on a soft part. What about that innovator? Because if you look at socio-cultural factors related to entrepreneurship, the students normally are forced to leave their projects behind and they get into a job. Nothing wrong in that, but sometimes the institutions and students have come back to say the ideas were really very good, but we did not have any other option. Now I think these two schemes are different in this sense. They will act complementary to each other, but at the same time a new pool of student beneficiaries will also come to APF, because APF is also allowing even graduates from 2023 onwards also, 2 years post graduation. Let's take an example. Somebody who was having a wonderful idea and he graduated out of engineering, he might have been Yukti beneficiary or SIH alumni, Smart India Hackathon, or might not be. But now suppose this student who graduated in 2023 and is an incubatee somewhere, incubated in an incubation center with higher education institute. Now many times he is not eligible for some other schemes, but he becomes eligible for APF, where APF will support him for taking care of his own expenses, but he can put this money even into the product making also, prototype. That's the scheme actually. Yukti, basically most maximum beneficiaries are student and faculty members, existing students and faculty members are the beneficiaries, and we accept ideas from TRL level 4 onwards. So that is the difference in the focus.
Sir, you have described the core objective of APF.
Yes.
I want to know how would you find out the ideal team or students who will be the user of this scheme?
Yeah. So here this scheme, we have built in a flexible this thing. I mean, there is a lot of flexibility. The student can form a group, need not be from the same college, even from the different AICTE approved institutions also. And similarly, we are permitting all permutation and combinations, like they can be from different years, or they can be from different streams like mechanical, civil, electrical, electronics, like this. And also they can be from a different programs also, like one can be from a management, one can be from engineering, one can be from hotel management and catering technology. So like this means across the technical education field, need not be even outside the purview of this thing also. Whatever the students, they are having their concepts, the ideas at a proof of concept level, so can come together as a team as per their this thing. I mean, what is that convenience? So they can come together and they can lead this particular project. I can say that towards building a product or towards coming out with a solution for a, I mean, giving a service kind of a thing. So this is where the beauty of this particular scheme lies. We are not putting any restrictions like all the students from the same institution or all the students from the same branch. This kind of a restriction is not there. So they got, because now today any development requires a multidisciplinary approach, and those days are gone. I mean, depending only on one expertise kind of a thing. So this will going to help the team members to come from different background, I mean with a different expertise, and they can work on a common cause kind of a thing, so that definitely they can come out with a very good innovative product.
Sir, in Yukti, is there a team concept, or it is an individual thing which students will do?
It can be an individual student or faculty, or it can be a team which will be nominated by Institution's Innovation Council.
Okay.
We are allowing 10 startups, so 10 innovative startup or 10 ideas we can say per IIC.
And how many IICs?
We have now 15,500 IICs in the country, but it is now again the scheme is open to every higher education institute in the country. If they find this scheme and if they have not established IIC, this is an opportunity to get onboarded on IIC, which will also help them to promote innovation and entrepreneurship culture in their institution. And I think that's how now institutions are also realizing that benefit of coming or institutionalizing their effort through the portal of IIC, which is a national framework and structure for institutes also to mobilize the resources towards innovation and entrepreneurship. And we have a very strong portal and repository, and that's where the scheme is offered through the portal. In fact, APF is also getting registrations through the Yukti portal.
Okay. So, sir, what kind of support, mentoring, either is the support of funding or infrastructure, the team will get under APF?
Yeah. So here I want to clarify one thing. Basically, this fellowship is available for the students.
Okay.
But however, we are not restricting this student teams getting mentored by their faculty members or even outside experts, maybe from an industry background or whatever it may be. But the only thing is either the faculty or the industry expert who are getting connected with these teams are not eligible for getting any kind of a fellowship.
Okay.
Because as per the government rules or the policies, so we cannot offer a fellowship to a faculty member or to a person expert from an industry who is already having a kind of an financial support in the form of salary or whatever it may be. So in that way, we are not permitting that faculty members, even though faculty members are part of this Yukti, as my friend has mentioned. But here that students are the main focal point, and all the students will get. And here the one more advantage is whatever the team which is going to come up with their proof of a concept and going to work on that proof of concept in order to take it further up to the level of a product development, they need to get connect with any of the AICTE approved institution. Okay. It need not be from the same institution from which the students are passed out, because there are many instances in which some of the colleges, especially from the rural background, the students may be having a very good ideas and also they are ready to take it forward, but the institutions where they have studied may not be having that level of facilities in order to take care of these students' ideas to work on it and take it further. So that is why we are allowing them, our students, to incubate their that product development in any of the AICTE approved institutions elsewhere also. Okay. So in this way, and one more thing is there is a clear guidelines and also instructions to all the institutions, especially that AICTE approved institutions, maybe that institutions deemed to be universities or who it may be having approval of AICTE, are allowed to help these student groups. And one more thing is already there are other schemes and there are other facilities like iSTEM and other things, where if these students requires any kind of a support, testing and other things, so they can also make use of the facilities which are available under this iSTEM facilities. And also very soon AICTE is also coming out with one more new initiative, so wherein we are going to bring in all the facilities which are available with all the AICTE approved institutions to be made available or known to the everyone, I mean the student or faculty community, so that as and when if any student or any faculty member want to make use of this kind of facilities, they can go and make use of these facilities at any other institution also. So in this way, and one more thing is, if the student is from a particular institution and if he is get connected with that incubation center of that institution, and institutions are always directed or given instructions of the thing to help this student community, because finally AICTE is not going to take away any IPR or any what is that kind of a partnership with this product development and other things. It is totally between the student group and the institution finally to take it further. And even if it is getting matured and getting into a usable and a what is that, a good product and going for a commercialization, then all the benefits will go to the team, student team and the institutions where they are incubated for developing this one. AICTE will not going to take any benefit out of it.
So sir, as you said about funding, so I have two questions. First is the funding of 37,000, it is for the entire team or individuals?
Yes,
equally?
actually here the team can be, the composition of the team can be an individual student also or a maximum of 4 members.
Okay.
But in general we permit 3 students in every team. But if an individual student himself is ready to come out with this kind of an approach wherein he is already having a proof of concept and he is capable of getting that into the level of product development, absolutely there is no problem. But when the team is coming with more than one student, so naturally every student is eligible for this 37,000 fellowship monthly.
Monthly.
Yes, it is not per team. And only the difference is the team are eligible every year for a contingency amount of 50,000 rupees. That is not per head. It is per team. And second year also, I mean, in case if that project is extended and if the expert committee recommends for that additional period, which we call it as the second stage kind of a thing, in the second year also we are going to support this student group or the team with the same amount of fellowship, that is 37,000 per month for every individual, and again 50,000 as the contingency, which can be used as my friend mentioned for procuring some items which are very much required for this thing. And here institutions are also going to support the student group. That is also there. It's not that they have to do everything out of whatever that fellowship which we are going to give. And even they can also get a support through that Yukti Innovation Challenge, and where there is also a financial support at the later stage for getting additional funding for supporting their product and other this thing. So all these things are permitted. So we are not putting any kind of a restriction.
So the funding for of 37,000 is the duration is only for 2 years, or?
No, actually first initially for a period of 1 year, I mean in general. But it is not guaranteed like in one stretch all whoever is get selected for this particular fellowship is going to get a guaranteed amount for 12 months. Because here we are going to have a rigorous selection process, and after the rigorous selection process, every quarterly there will be a review of their progress. So because here we are targeting, we also wanted them to be in a focused way. So like how an employee working on a project is always have some deadlines kind of a thing, here also every team need to have a proper timelines towards their approach in order to convert their proof of concept or idea to the level of product or the usable service kind of a thing.
Coming to you, sir, Yukti repository you said. So I want to know how over the years Yukti repository has developed. What were the main, you can say, success stories from that repository, if you can share?
One interesting thing about Yukti repository is it's open to all. Even an alumni of an institute can approach his institution and add his idea to the repository, because the channel is IIC. So that is one interesting thing about Yukti repository, that there is no limit of the age for an innovator that he can become a part of Yukti repository. Then this repository, once you come on board on the repository, whatever stage you are, we keep sending our emails of different schemes, program, support initiative, like we had Udyamotsav. So Yukti repository innovators got a message through their IICs and institutions, and even through the open channel, about that there is such an opportunity where you can interact with the investors and pitch your startup to investors. And many startups actually, the students took advantage of it. Now we have more than 1 lakh ideas in total submitted
in your
on
repository.
Yukti repository, which is a national repository of innovation. And I think the repository portal as such, we have reached to a stage where we learnt, and now we are trying to collaborate with different organizations like Startup India. Startup India is also they have come up with a information portal called Bhaskar. Now they are also looking for such national repository, and now we will join hands with such, though these two are government entities, but still no one should work in silos, and I think now it will take Yukti to next level, and it will also enable Startup India team also to have complete access to the academic entrepreneurial ecosystem, which I think innovation has been developing and supporting through last so many years.
So you mentioned about TRL 4 and as the eligibility criteria. So what does that mean for student and faculty innovators?
Yeah, so this terminology is the technology readiness level. All these TRL levels from 0 to 9 were initially developed, designed and communicated by NASA actually. But now different departments and different technology and research based organizations like CSIR, Department of Biotechnology, have defined, even MIT, they have defined TRL levels. TRL levels, the brief, what you can say, the expectations about any innovation, they vary from sector to sector. So TRL definitions also vary, but broadly TRL 0 and 1 is about that we have like conceptualize. So when you say you're at the research stage and now you know your concept, what you know the theory, and when you start talking about theory, then you go to TRL level 1. Then when you say, yes, I know the application of the theory now, this is where this is the problem and this is how this scientific principle can be applied, that is TRL, you come to 2. 3 and 4 is more about elements and elements. So there is ecosystem is system we talk about, and there are components. System is made of components. So TRL 3 and 4 is more about combination of components and system, how they function. TRL 3 is more about TRL 3 and 4 both are actually, we can say, POC stage, but 3 is one level prior to actual POC, which is 4 is more about validation that these two elements can function together. Okay. So there is a scientific principle, you can say, we know the gravitation principle and we know where we want to solve a problem. We can say that this principle plus this another equipment can function together. When you try to prove this in a lab-based setup, that two different elements, components can meet and we can make a system together, we can make an assembly. When you prove this at lab or in a laboratory setup, this is TRL 4. It's a proof of concept level, but proved in a lab setup. When you go to TRL 5, it is actual prototype, lab prototype. So we are at this stage. So people should also understand what we want to achieve very next. And this is the stage where students, faculty, our institutions, they struggle to buy that raw material, get the actual raw material, get the machinery, equipment, access, testing, and that's where this funding comes in picture.
So sir, what kind of mentoring or evaluation support you will be providing to the participants of the Yukti Innovation Challenge? A brief of...
Yeah. So that's actually major part of Yukti. Mm-hmm. It's more about hand-holding. Okay. So if you look at innovation cell 4 pillars, one of the very important pillar is mentoring and hand-holding. And it's more about hand-holding. So we connect the innovators to an incubation center in their own institution or a nearest incubator if their institution is not having an incubator. And this incubation center takes care of actual hand-holding and mentoring then. So we also support the incubation center with the complete, you can say, a structure, a mentoring structure. We also follow through our officers, and for every innovator we have an evaluation panel, which is also a panel of mentors. So now the ideas will go through 2 to 3 stages of screening, and then they come at national level. Even before final pitching, the students or the participant, the finalists, are actually mentored through a series of online live videos and after even through some online sessions, and then they actually pitch their idea at national level to a panel of mentors. So mentoring and handholding starts even before the funding. Even those who do not get the funding, they are also mentored before the final pitch at national level. And after, of course, there is a strong review through the incubation center. One key difference we should understand even between the two, though both are funding schemes, we can say per se. APF is a DBT, direct beneficiary transfer. Our fund for Yukti Innovation Challenge, it goes to an incubation center. And so that's where I said that mentoring and handholding is a very strong pillar of Yukti Innovation Challenge, because it will go through incubation center. So incubation center becomes even accountable to bring that startup or an innovator to the next level and get that startup established.
So this is the 4th Yukti Innovation Challenge,
Yes.
right? So in this challenge, is there any specific sector or any societal challenge that will focus in the Yukti Innovation Challenge 2025?
No, Yukti Innovation Challenge is sector agnostic. We encourage students to identify the problems in the society around, to look at the sectors of national importance as identified by PSA, as identified by different government departments at national level, and then accordingly students can actually apply.
Sir, in the larger startup and innovation ecosystem of India, where do you position AICTE and MIC today?
I mean, if we see the journey, especially with starting of Ministry's Innovation Council in ACT, this one, I mean, a lot of innovation related activities started. I mean, it started with a Smart India Hackathon, and like that there are many, and even that hackathon has gone to that international level also. We have successfully organized this one, and now this Yukti Innovation Challenge, now it is into the 4th edition. So in fact this AICTE Productization Fellowship derived its shape, I mean what it is now, I mean going forward, is basically because of whatever that efforts and whatever the things which have happened in the last 6-7 years, starting from this Smart India Hackathon, which started I mean a few years back, up to this year's this thing. And actually definitely now the focus is I mean as our Honorable Prime Minister sir is aiming for Atmanirbhar Bharat and Vikasit Bharat 2047. So naturally, so we are all trying our level best to support our young students, especially India is, as we all know, that we are the youngest population in the world today, and this next 25 years is very crucial for our country to become a developed country, and towards this path or the goal of reaching this Viksit Bharat 2047, all these things will definitely going to help, and definitely we can boldly and happily and with proud, definitely we can say that many of our students, so in the days to come, are going to venture into lot of innovative related activities, and this is where all the difference will going to be, because all these things are going to support them, deviating them from becoming an employee under some employer towards looking for an entrepreneur. So this will going to change the game, as my friend as in the beginning mentioned, this is going to be a game changer. Already all these things have started happening in the country, but one more thing he has mentioned, so many of the organizations are working in silos. Now we have reached a stage so wherein every organization started mutually helping each other. So this is one of the best example wherein this Yukti Innovation Challenge and this AICTE Productization Fellowship, So which, I mean, both these things are going to help our student community. Even also this is permitting not only that ongoing students, even this productization fellowship permit the students who are already passed out from our institutions up to 2 years period. So this also will make a lot of a difference. Even a student who has already passed out can think of, in case if he is having a very good idea, to come back and work with a team. I mean, maybe is the juniors as a team and work, and definitely there's many more things is going to happen. And one more important thing is we are also focusing a lot of things on patents and other things. I mean, IPR protection, etc. So many things are also stopping at the level of getting into that patent. I mean, registered or getting award. But the next level, I mean, many of our patents, maybe even though they are having a stuff to become a product, commercialized product kind of a thing, but so far not much has happened or happening in those lines. And here I think with these two things, we are trying to boost this particular area. So where our student community, even as a part of these two things, when the faculty members also can join hands, and the institutions also, because we are not putting any restriction for the institution supporting, faculty supporting, industry people supporting, alumni supporting this student group. All this will going to help our this thing, I mean, institutions, where they are now ending up with a project for a partial fulfillment of their degree, or at the most taking it to the level of getting a patent. Yes. Now here onwards, I think they will look behind this patenting towards making their idea into a definitely a product stage. Definitely, I think we can see the bright days, the days to come, and in that definitely the role of AICTE will going to be there, and of course Ministry of Innovation Cell, which is always working in tandem with All India Council for Technical Education, is giving a saath, I can say, towards moving towards our Atmanirbhar Bharat and also Vikasit Bharat 2047.
So sir, what is your view? Is AICTE and MIC both working together to prepare our students from job creators rather than job seekers?
I will put that into 4 aspects. One is that if you see, it is APF, it starts with A. Yukti Innovation Challenge is Y. I think in last 7 years, though we started 2017, and it's a young innovation cell at Ministry and AICTE, I think we have covered A to Z. Z is about now that ZAP approach of our innovators. They should grab the schemes.
Yes.
Because right from hackathon to boot camps to different challenges, grant challenges, and there are so many other supportive schemes for faculty members. We did capacity building programs, FDP for innovation and entrepreneurship, and there are so many other complementary initiatives coming from AICTE's core departments also. That is point number 1. Point number 2, if you look at Global Innovation Index, India has already moved to 39th positions. And if you look at the report is pretty interesting, and there is a lot of, it's not only about reflection. There is an immediate action required, which is actually easier also. If you look at the report, we are lagging behind in innovation inputs compared to innovation outcome. Our rating for innovation output is quite good. And innovation input, which is actually in our hand in different ministries. And I think these kind of schemes are actually playing a very critical role and a vital role to actually enhance and directly contribute to our rating in innovation inputs. Like we have a scheme to fund patents, but we also have a complete mechanism now through AICTE innovation centers and innovation cell. We are actually helping faculty members from patent to product. And if you are a student or if you are a PhD student, you become part of APF also, you become part of Yukti also. And now I think our PhD scholars also, so I will just say point number 2A, is our PhD scholars we have, I don't have the number of how many PhD scholars we have, but a lot of MTech and PhD scholars, they struggle to give jobs because the corporates then look at, okay, I can hire a BTech, which is having little maybe less knowledge or which is equivalent, and then I can pay him little less. And these people then they struggle. I think there is a fantastic opportunity for our MTech and PhD scholars. They should take maximum benefit out of this, both the schemes, or at least one of them, and not only for their survival or what you can say the subsistence, looking at it as a subsistence allowance or so, though it is fellowship, they can actually convert their dreams into reality. Because you meet many people in the age group of 30 to 40, they say, I had an idea. Now here is a scheme for the people who are going to, and they will not say, as Dr. Swamy rightly mentioned, now it's our dreams are coming into reality. So after 10 years, you will not get a person or who is an ex-student and will say, I had an idea, I did not get a support. We don't want to see this after 2030. That is point number 2. Point number 3 is NEP 2020, and our Honorable Prime Minister was very keen to implement. Honorable Union Minister of Education, he took it ahead, and now under different departments of Ministry of Education, we are now actualizing NEP 2020 objectives. Innovation Cell has played a critical role in actually achieving NEP 2020 objectives. Experiential learning, Smart India Hackathon, and our different programs. Then you have problem solving and creativity, again hackathon and our different initiatives. And the third is out of box thinking. And when somebody is doing all these things, when you have different programs, competitions, you need funding support, and there is a scheme which is also directly contributing to multiple you can say achievable outcomes of at national level also. So this is the third thing. And the fourth is now if you look at our overall startup ecosystem, India has become third largest startup ecosystem. If you look at it as a pyramid, our academic entrepreneurial ecosystem is the incoming or the input to the larger startup ecosystem of the country. We are at the bottom of pyramid of the larger startup ecosystem, and we are trying to strengthen this academic entrepreneurial ecosystem, because these are the students who are going to be actually future founders, who are coming up with some you can say products, or they are going to solve major social challenges with their products and services, and not only contribute to the GDP, but to contribute to maybe at global level for problem solving. And I think that kind of support system was missing 10 to 15 years back. With Innovation Cell, AICTE, and maybe some other ministries also helping the academic community, I think we are able to contribute to the startup ecosystem of the country, where because the input will come from here only. Today's students will become tomorrow's maybe a founder, entrepreneur, or businessman. And the other outcome, as we always say that we are into a cultural intervention, Innovation Cell is into cultural intervention. It's not that everybody will come up with a startup, but they will go to corporate. And who is going to corporate? These are problem solvers. It's an entrepreneurial mindset who is going to. So we are creating entrepreneurs and intrapreneurs also for the future. So this is my take on it, how AICTE and MIC has been contributing.
Actually, I wanted to add one more thing.
Yes, sir, please.
Rather share one more important information. Actually, for these students, there will be one more question in their mind, like how that institutions will going to support, whether really they are going to full-heartedly going to support as, extending that facilities and other things, especially those who are already passed out, because we are permitting them for a period of 2 years. The students who are in the college, absolutely no problem, because they will have access to all the labs and other things. But an outsider, means alumni maybe, but still is out of the college, but we are having a clear instructions to all the colleges to permit them. That is one thing. And the second thing is many of our AICTE approved institutions, including many of the deemed to be universities and state, private, public universities who are having AICTE approval, are also funded under different schemes of AICTE. And say for example, if I want to quote one important thing is AICTE Idea Lab schemes. So today we got more than 425 AICTE Idea Labs in our AICTE approved institution across the country. So apart from this, we are funding in many other schemes. So all these things enable us to direct the institutions to support this student community when these students requires any kind of a support from the institutions. And also many of our students, I mean alumni, are into very good position. And now after these activities of AICTE, I mean especially in that last 1 decade, whatever that changes have started happening, so there many are now coming forward to help in one way or the other way these students, either in the form of mentoring or helping hands by extending their support from that industry, and all that is possible. So now I think all put together, even that ministries, as Yogesh rightly mentioned, so that many industries and also many ministries, even central government and state government, all are ready to help in all possible ways. And finally I want to mention that ministry has going to help this fellowship program, I mean by extending that financial support, and they have considered this initiative of AICTE as full-heartedly they accepted. And like the present this thing, scholarship and fellowship schemes which are already funded by ministry, I mean under the plan scheme of the government of India through MOE. So this fellowship, productization fellowship, is also going to be one of the plan schemes of Ministry of Education and the government of India. So means it is an indication that so the government, Ministry of Education, and even our honorable higher education minister sir also, I mean MOE sir, is also very much interested in bringing this innovative culture in all the institutions. Even they have taken this innovative culture even into the school level also. I think this time ministry has already extended a huge financial support in initiating innovation councils at the school level. I think from the school level itself, this culture of innovation and startup and all these things, thinking out of the box, will start. And definitely by the time they get into this higher education, and this kind of a financial support, either in the form of fellowship or in the form of financial support through Yukti challenges and other things, will definitely change the game and also change the mindset of the students and how they think now and how they are going to think in future. So definitely this will going to make a big change and big difference in the days to come. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Swamy and Dr. Brahmankar, for shedding light on these two transformative initiatives. The AICTE Productization Fellowship and Yukti Innovation Challenge 2025 are not just schemes. They are platforms of opportunity, mentorship, and nation building. To all our viewers, students, faculty, and innovators, this is your moment to take bold steps, build impactful solutions, and contribute to Atmanirbhar Bharat. Until next time, keep innovating and stay tuned to AICTE Insights. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.